ScrubGamers, welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today we're now back with another deck profile, and this time going over the green Gohan lead. So we've moved out of the yellow and onto the green ones, and we're going to go over, like we've been doing, go over the lead, go over the deck list, so you can kind of have like a base list for anybody wanting to try out these decks. So I feel that's a nice thing for anybody getting new into the game, having a base list to kind of like pick up and use, be handy, and then you can get into building your own if you want to eventually. So, before we get into the video, to go over the deck list and what Gohan basically is about, you can help us out with our goal because we're still on our way to 1,000 subs. And the best way you can do, well, the ways you can do that is by liking the video. It lets me know that you enjoy the content and like the deck profiles I do. Comment down below anything any comments you have regarding something I haven't covered in the lead, some of the card choices or anything now, or suggestions can help out greatly and get a bit of discussion going. And lastly, you can help out by dropping a subscribe because we're on the way to 1,000 subs, and every little bit helps. And you can get the notification bell as well to then get alerts to when my videos do drop, so you can watch them there and then or at a later time. So, with that out of the way, let's get to the video and check out Green Gohan. So, we're using Deck Planet like we've done before, so let Deck Planet being the best and only deck builder really for the Dragon Ball Super card games, and really like handy and easy to use interface. And even things like this, like we're on the content creator view, you could then pull up the lead, they see like a little bit of a close up to find out what the cards do. So for Gohan, he's kind of like most of the typical leaders where he's got draw on both sides because he's got a one attacking effect on both sides of lead where you draw one. So nice, mostly all leaders do this. Like there are some crit leaders on the front side, whereas this one's draw one, where these are a lot better, where they're gaining advantage rather than denying your opponent resources. Like it's better you getting to find, like draw more cards to find things you want, and ends up drawing more. And the fact it draws on both sides is a really nice thing because it means you're always gaining advantage from leader swing and not really losing out. And then the other thing he's got on the front side is the Awaken, which is like the standard one that most cards in the game, or most leaders in the game currently have, which is the when you last a 4 less, draw one card, flip over. Means nice and easy, get a 4 life, draw a card, flip over, gain another card, flip over to your stronger side, and like the majority of leaders, he goes from a 15k on the front side to a 20k on the back side. And while Awakening, you don't just get a power boost to your stats, you also get a new effect, and most of the time you want to get to your weakened side so you can get the benefit of that effect. And for Gohan, it is an activate battle with once per turn by placing one of your cards in your drop as the cost, well, one card from your energy into your drop as the cost. This guy can gain 50k power for the battle. So that means either offensively or defensively, you can get a free 15k to out-combo some swings or put some more pressure. Now, it does come at the cost of losing an energy, but just like we see with Broly, you can have things to mitigate it, or in the later game when you're trying to push for damage, it doesn't matter too much when you got enough energy. Like unlike Broly, where it needs to use that effect to kind of gain advantage, this is more just to help with defending or being more aggressive. So it's got like the same kind of cost, but a better likelihood out of this. Now we've seen with Broly, there's differences to Broly. Like Broly kind of like covers the bad sides for Gohan, where Gohan covers the bad sides for Broly. And where Broly doesn't always draw necessarily, like when it awakens, it's got to then have a negative just to draw and have more things together to get that draw. Whereas Gohan just still keeps it on just attacking, be able to swing, draw cards, so it keeps that and that. But where it's lower base and at a standard 20k base, it means you can basically just swing, like you can get 20k swings just thrown at you over and over again, and you got to use cards to defend out of it. And that can have a lot harder time depleting your resources when you're trying to defend a lot of 20k swings. Whereas with Broly, being a little higher base means your opponent has to combo, so while you're losing advantage or losing cards to defend yourself, your opponent's also losing cards trying to push the damage. So that's kind of the main benefits if you're ever wondering. And this one's probably going to be the best leader because of the fact that it just draws on all sides, and its activate battle is just handy when in a pinch. So that's the leader. And also the sick alt art as well. Like all leaders have an alt art outside, except for the starter deck ones. And Gohan's probably got one of the best alt arts in the first set. I think it's a bit like for me, it feels like a debate between Gohan and Cooler, like which one has a better art. Because Cooler's looks amazing, and Gohan's is an iconic scene from when he's having that last showdown with Cell. So now we've covered the leader. Let's go to the main set, and like we did before, we're going to start with the super combo because every deck should have 4 super combos. Super combo is a great mechanic in both Fusion World and Masters, but it's a little bit different to Masters and Fusion World. And for Fusion World, it's more of a defensive mechanic, where it's got the maximum super combo any card has. Oh, sorry, maximum combo power any card has being 10k. But if used defensively, you can get it even more big, like even bigger benefit. Because if you use it in your opponent's turn in a combo from your hand, it gets extra 10k combo, meaning that you can combo 20k from one card rather than use multiple cards. Rather than using two cards at 10k combo power, that combo swing, you can use it in one card, keeping your resources up and keeping the advantage flowing. And because it's got the keyword skill super combo, it means you can only have 4 copies with super combo in your deck. So you're going to put 4 in because that's the maximum you can have. And a nice thing Bandai's done with the super combos is make the cost really high and the power really low to incentivize not playing it, because you don't want to play these, you want to use them in your hand for combo. And I know people say that defeats the purpose of being a battle card, but then it's something that we're all used to for Masters, and it's just a nice way like defend it, like a nice thing. Like, it didn't come until set 2 for Masters, but it's coming straight from the get-go for Fusion World. So being a 7 cost 15k means you're not going to want to play it, because it's not worth it at that late in the game and for that much power, so you'll want to have these for comboing. So that's the super way. Then we go from, like we've been doing before, from the low cost to the high cost for the rest of the game, so we can kind of see the turn progression for the deck. And first one we've got, well, first two we've got is the Goku and Gohan. So Goku being the cantrip, essentially cantrip meaning a card that comes down and replaces itself. So basically just comes down, draws your card, raises it on hand, and then essentially free. And these are handy to help you filter, like use your energy for the first few turns, like when you're not ramping, and then help you draw for your deck to find your ramp a little bit easier, and also then be offensive or defensive combo power for next to nothing. And then we got Gohan, which is kind of every spectrum. Like we've seen more mass. Because I come from Masters, if you've seen from that, some archetypes get, or some colors get a cantrip and a searcher, and that's kind of what these two represent. Being Goku being the cantrip, or Gohan being a searcher, the father son working together to help you filter your deck. And Gohan is a searcher, but not as it doesn't search as much. But like it doesn't search as much, but well, not it doesn't search as many cards, but it does have a lot more targets it can grab. Because his own players look at the top 3 cards of your deck. So normally most searches are top 5, whereas Gohan's only top 3. So you get 2 less cards you see, but you got more targets because it allows you to result to 1 card with a cost of 5 or less and Saiyan its special trait, and add to your hand and put the rest of the bottom of your deck in a random order. So why it only hits 5 or less is a good thing, because otherwise you're grabbing, if you can grab any Saiyan, you're grabbing your boss cards whenever you want using this, you're grabbing your super combos, and that's a bit unfair because there's only one, like only really red and yellow have a way to kind of grab super combos, but one's more of like a top 1 kind of way, an apple for yellow, and then red's got an extra card, but it's an extra card which can be sometimes dead, whereas Gohan is a combo card, so you kind of limit that to be 5 or less, which does grab you a load of targets, because Saiyan is one of the like main traits in the game, one of the biggest traits, so you've got a lot of targets. And just that's a nice consistency, and mainly finding most of your finds all your ramp cards for when you need them. So white doesn't search as many and give you a whiff. You shouldn't be whiffing as much, considering there's a lot of Saiyans. You got to be a lot playing a lot of Saiyans in green that can hit that. So if you do whiff, that's unfortunate, but you've got less chance because of how many like 5 or less Saiyans there are. So you play 4 copies of those because you want the consistency, so you want to match them before, and we got to see them early, multiples of them, so we can get using them when we're not ramping to help go for our deck to find the things we want for the later game. And next we have the ramp card. So green in this game, like this, different to Masters, because in Masters it's not a very good color. It focuses on how like hand control and like board control, like destruction and hand control. Whereas in this game it's the ramp color. So it used to be ramp color is in blue in Masters, but in this game it's in green. And we got the ramp cards being, we got 4 copies of Destructive Strength, the ramp extra card for when you get free energy. 4 copies of Vegeta, the SR from the set 1. That you have when you use for the ramp when you get 4 energy. And you've got the Goku here being the ramp for 5 energy. Now these are all cards that ramp, and they all have the same thing of having 3 specified cost in green, but that's not be relevant until we get multicolor leaders potentially in future. But for now, they're your ramp for when you have 3 energy, 4 energy, 5 energy. Now, the first one you want to normally get to is Destructive Strength, and that's the one you want to kind of find. And luckily, it's a Saiyan, so extra cards in this game have traits, and that's a handy one to allow Gohan to be able to search it and find it and help you grab it. So that's me. What do you think? Normally, when you're mulliganing, you want to try and normally when you mulligan in any deck in any color, you want to try and find like make sure you've got at least turn 1 play, so you can have like stuff to do for your first turn, second turn, third turn to make use of your energy. Because if you're not making use of energy, you're not really doing anything, and you're gonna lag behind. But for green, not only do you want to try that, you mainly want to find destructive strength, because that's going to help you to ramp as quick as possible. Because the first card, like the cheapest card, you can use the ramp to help then be able to get more energy as you get in later turns, to build your energy more, so you can play your big things and then get the best benefits. So it's quite a slow color, but then once it gets off, it's like a boulder. Like once it goes off, it just basically it becomes hard to stop. So we've got 3 copies of this because we want to find it, because it's literally pay 3 energy, and the top card of your deck to your from the top of your deck to your energy. Now the only downside of this is it puts from the top of your deck to your energy instead of it like drop or anything like that. But but that's good because you're ramping. But being the top of the deck means you can sometimes hit cards you don't want to hit. Like if you hit a super combo off it, that's going to be quite horrible, because that's 1 super combo less that you can't grab back, and your opponent knows it because they can see it in your energy. But you play 4 copies of this because we want to see it as soon as possible, and then we got ways to make use of it in later game. And one of those ways is Vegeta. Now Vegetas are a ramp we get 4 energy. It's got a really nice thing in that it's got 10k combo, which is very nice, because green on most of green's best cards, they're quite lacking in combo power, being only more 5ks or 0 combo or 5 combo. Whereas this was a 10k, which is handy. There's also 20k, which you can pressure awakened leaders, and its on play is similar, whereas when it's played, you can when you play this card, add up the top card add up to 1 card with a cost of 3 or more from your drop in your energy and rest mode. The handy thing about this is that the turn before that, you're normally going to play like Destructive Strength, which is a 3 cost or higher card, and it's going to be in a drop after you use it. So normally when you do Destructive Strength first, you're then going to have it as a target for Vegeta to ramp, and it ramps from drops, so that means you're not losing any card you don't care about. You put in a card you've already used into your energy to get more energy. Now it does come in rest mode, but it doesn't matter because you're still gaining an energy. Like sometimes, like there'll be sometimes you can make use of that 1 energy, but sometimes you can, and as long as you get the energy, that's the main thing. And not only that, but it also has a beneficial effect. I know there is a pre-release Goku that you can get, that's the same kind of cost, more power, same combo power, and has a ramp as well. The only thing is, while the Goku's 5k more power being the main difference in the stats, it does ramp, but it ramps from your hand, which is not as great, because then you're losing cards that you can actually use, whereas this is Vegeta's using cards you've already used to ramp, and it doesn't have any additional effect, whereas Vegeta ramps from an area you've already used, still pressures awakened leaders, and also has an error effect, and that is an activate main, which is once per turn by discarding a card from your hand as a cost, so you got to lose a card from your hand, and then you get to choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with cost 2 or less and KO it. Now this is really nice, because even though you're losing a card from hand, you can lose dead cards if you've got extra copies of Destructive Strength that you don't need to use anymore because you've already used the first one, you've got battle cards that can ramp. You can discard those ones if you can't. If you say draw after you've drawn for turn, so you can't charge it the same turn. You can ditch those to then use Vegeta to kind of control your opponent's board, popping some of these pesky earlier cards. Because one thing Gohan struggles with is wide aggression. If you're swinging with a lot of 20ks into your lead, that's going to require a lot of cards comboing to kind of defend it. And sometimes you don't want to. With green you can combo like big swings, like tall swings, really good, which is like the really high power swings. But when it comes to wide swings at just little increments, it can deplete your hand quite like quickly. And using Vegeta to then be able to swing into them and also like remove some of these little ones that are causing pressure early is really handy. And also set up things for like ramp for a second Vegeta you might play. So we play 4 copies of this, and the main reason we have this is so good is if you're going second, it gets a bigger benefit, because if you're going first, you can't ramp until you get, well, you can't ramp in either turn, either going first or second until you got free energy. And going first, you have to wait until your third turn to be able to use Destructive Strength to ramp. And when you do that, you're ramping from 3 to 4. Then to your next turn, if you charge, you're then at 5 energy. And that's when you start playing Goku instead. So Vegeta's not gonna as great, because then Goku comes down, and that's the extra benefit. We'll go in a bit. But then you can still go Vegeta and then have an energy open to do something, and then go to 6, or you can just fit Goku to go to 6. But if you're going second, you can ramp a bit earlier on turn 2 because you've got the energy marker, which luckily counts as the colour as the lead. So you get your second turn, you've got the 2 energy you charge plus the marker. You can use Destructive Strength then to use the 2 energy in the marker to then ramp an energy. So you're at 3 energy on turn 2, and that's permanent energy. Now that energy marker is basically made to permanent energy. And in your next turn, you charge energy, and you're now 4. Now, that 4 is 1 away from Goku being able to come down a ramp, but there's 4 is the exact same amount you need for Vegeta. So if you use Destructive Strength to ramp, that's the target in there, so you can play Vegeta out, ramp to 5, and then for 5 or 6, you can either start them ramping more with Goku and Ever cards, or then start placing your big cards. And that's really handy because 6 energy is a perfect spot for some Ever effects to get some beneficial extra bits, which is really nice. So he's got all big benefit, and it gets a really nice benefit from going second to keep your ramping on curve. And then we have Goku, the higher one of the ramp, being the 5 cost. Now his 5 cost 25k, it's still pretty decent for its cost. 25k is not too bad for a 5 drop and 5k combo, so this is when you start seeing the low combo power on the bigger and better cards. And Goku's got a nice effect where when it's played, or when a card is placed in your drop area from your energy, you add the top card of your deck to your energy in rest mode. So that's great because it means it's on play, it ramps you, so it ramps when you play, which is handy, gives you that extra energy. And while it's in rest mode, it's still adding more energy to make use of in the next turn and the turns further, and also allows you to mitigate the fact that your Gohan when it awakens as a second energy uses extra effect. Because not only is it when it's played, it's when just what's on board. If you sack off an energy, meaning place an energy from your drop from your board from your energy to your drop, then you get to replace it. So if you use Leader's effect to like sack off an energy defensively or offensively, the Goku will replace it. So you're not down in energy on the next turn. You get the same energy when you get to the next turn, so you can charge and then have more. And a nice thing about this card is if you can get 2 on board at the same time, you're then plussing energy every turn, because while you're sacking off 1 for your leader's effect to gain that power boost for the lead, then both Gokus are triggers, so if one to replace the energy, and the other and add an extra energy. So if you have 2 of these on board, you're then increasing your energy by 1 every time you lose an energy, and if you just got 1 on board, you're essentially placing energy, keeping the same amount of energy, and not losing anything. So this card is really good for both Broly and Gohan because it mitigates their negative sides of their awakened effects. And we play 4 copies of each because we want to find these because we want to see them for when we need them early, when we get to the point where we can ramp, to make sure we're ramping on curve and doing what we need. And then we go into the Gohan, so we got the 5 and 6 drop. So you'll notice that most of this same as Broly because Broly and Gohan are basically the same need, just they have their benefits against the weakness of the other. So Gohan, both Gohans, we have a 5 and 6 one, being 5 cost being 30k, well the 6 drop being 35k, and the 5 cost is 10k combo, the 6 drop is 5k, but they have both great rolls. Now the 5 drop is a really nice one because it comes down, 30k power is pretty decent, it's pretty good to put pressure on, and 30k is pretty nice against leaders because if you swing 30k to a lead, they've got it's the same as swinging in mass as 25 to a lead. Because in its 10k combo it's 10k power above the base power of their lead when awakened, and that requires them to either use up a super combo, which you only have 4 of, to out combo it with like as easy as possible, use a battle trick, which requires energy, so if they haven't left energy, they haven't left to use it, and at least is a battle trick they're not using offensively, or they're taking the damage, which they might not want to do, and at the very least, the most negative way they're doing of getting out of it is by comboing a 10k plus a never card, so 2 cards out combo 1 swing. So in this game, 30k is a good number to get to when a swinging at lead if you want to try and push damage or drain resources, or if you just want to make him lose at least 1 card at hand, 20k is the base power. So, and it's also really good because it's got a on-play effect where you get to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, which cost 4 or less, and KO it. So it's really nice, giving some really good removal while playing body. So if you want to like control board, Gohan is a good way to do that by coming down and having a big body to kind of swing some little things. We'll also remove it in never one, so you can potentially do 2 in one play, being remove 1 on play and then remove never one by swinging. So it comes down for quite handy. And having Tengi combo is really handy to defend, or even combo, as it's got the maximum combo power you can get on a card. That's great. And then next we have the 6 drop Gohan. So this is the one that probably, like, it's crazy that is in the same color as ramping, because what's on a big body, it's also got a great effect. And the thing with it is, in this game, currently being the first set of the game, there is removal. There's a fair bit of removal, but there's not a massive amount that deals with cards that are 6 or higher. There's a fair few, like most colors have good removal for things that are 5 or less, but there's barely any removal in the game currently for anything 6 or higher, and if it is, it's quite costly. Like you got red that doesn't care about cost, they care about power. You got blue that can't hit anything by effects higher than 5. You got yellow that has pitiful removal, just one card of removal, so its way to kind of deal with things is keep it locked down, so keep it in rest mode so it can't be used. And then green has like the kind of best removal in like but it's quite a costly thing in like the 8-drop Broly, but that's 8 energy to do it. So if you get a 6-drop on board, it's going to be very hard to remove outside of attacking over unless you're red. And that's very nice because not only is it just a 6-drop, so it's out the range of most removal, but it's also 35k, so it's quite a big body. And a 5k combo to like kind of mitigate that it's got such a high power with great effect. And that effect is add up to 1 card from your life to your deck, or from your deck to your life. So it's a healing. So a big ass battle card that heals you is just amazing. And considering that's hard to get rid of, so it'll probably survive the next turn. It also heals your life, and if you think about it, where if your opponent is attacking into you with a load of cards that give 4 swings just to try and do damage to you, and you end up taking 1 damage. If they've done four attacks, try put a combo about play things out to attack you and done 1 damage, the next turn you can just play this Gohan, make it so that the last turn basically didn't happen, like kind of made all their effort to try and do that 1 damage pointless, and then you've got a big body, and if you do this over and over again, you can kind of just make it a lot harder to kill you, because in green you can essentially have up to 12 life if you play 4 of these Gohans, whereas any other leader is just limited to 8 life. So putting these big bodies while also healing your life as well is really handy. Like it's amazing. It's one of my favorite cards in green, and it's just a crazy, crazy card. So we play 4 copies because it's that good. Next we have 4 copies of 118. This is a really nice card because once again it's a cheap costing card, being a 2 cost, and 20k means it can awaken leaders, and it's 5k combo, so it's not got the best combo, but it's still got combo. At the very least, it's got combo power. And this is really handy because it's great for an SR because it's got 2 effects. First one being on play, you draw a card and discard a card from your hand. So that's great to help filter your deck to find things you're looking for. But also get rid of dead cards that are not going to be handy to combo with, like Destructive Strength, ever extra cards, or maybe if you got too many boss monsters, filtering one of those out for a useful card. And the fact it draws 1 then discards, meaning you're not going to basically end up discarding a useful card to then get given a useless card. You at least get to see what's useful, basically draw a card, see what you get, then discard whatever is useless in your hand. So make use of those, get rid of those destructive strengths out your hand later in the game when you don't need them. Not only that, once you get to 6 or more energy, you unlock the extra effect, being when attacking. If you have 6 or more energy, draw a card. So essentially he becomes a second leader for every copy you play on board, like extra leaders, because just like with Gohan on his Awakened side, it's just 20k power, swing, draw a card. When you get 6 more energy, Android 18 acts exactly like that, being a 20k that when it attacks draws a card. Essentially you get multiple leaders, which is something most other colours don't get. And the nice thing about this is that being on the board and the fact it draws you when you swing when you get 6 more energy means it's going to be a magnet for attacks, meaning that your opponent might even end up not, if they feel they can't kill you at the lead, they might start swinging into this, so you can take attacks away from your lead by having this on board, just with the fact of between 20k and what it does. So yeah, 4 copies of 6 is just that good as an SR. And then we've got some of the tech choices. So just like Broly, we had like 2 tech choices, and we've got Fruit Chunks, Future, and Paragus. Once again, I got Paragus just in case you get left on 5 life and can't awaken. You kind of might want to awaken yourself. And green, unlike the other colours, doesn't have a lot of awaken. I think this Paragus might be the only card in green that allows you to awaken by taking a life. Whereas other colours have a fair few cards that allow them to awaken in like either 1 cost, 2 costs. Other cards, green is the one that like kind of lacks the awaken battle cards. So Paragus is once again there for if you need awaken, and at the very least it's a 10k combo, which could be very handy. And we've got Trunks as the other one. Now Trunks is one that is debatable how useful it is because it's a free cost 20k, and just like it's also a ramper technically as well because it's got this free specified cost. And it's only a 5k combo, but we only take 2 in for like because it works. It's like a card made for this lead and can be useful because when it's KO'd, it's got effect of when it's KO'd. If your leader is Gohan for childhood, so this leader, you add a top card of your deck to your energy. So it's a ramper. So if you don't see Destructive Strength, you can use this to ramp. and it's 20k, so it's got its benefits, and there's a blocker as well. So you can kind of use it as another way to ramp by playing it out, use it to block when it dies, ramp a card. But sometimes decks might not want to kind of like trigger this or not attack. And outside of green, so the mirror is pretty useful, but outside the mirror it's not as useful because if you go in red and neg it, and when things are negged down to zero, being power reduced to zero, they don't get the when KO'd effect, so not treated as being KO'd. You got blue that's either going to bounce it back to hand or put it to the bottom of your deck. And you got yellow, which is just going to rest it so you can't block with it and then just swing at you or keep it locked down. So against anything that's not green, it's useless. But against the mirror, being like the best card in the game, being green, it could be useful. And at the very least, it's still a 20k swing, so at least it's there still pressuring Awaken lead. And if they don't get rid of it, it's going to keep swinging a 20k at your lead every turn, which is going to hit every single lead outside of Broly without having combo. And as well as that, if they do KO it, you're going to get an energy. So just come down, keep swinging, 20k, and it's at least handy in that aspect, just be a 20k swing. So these are ones you can probably change out. Like the rest of them, I feel like they're kind of needed in those ratios. Maybe some of them might go down like 1 or 2, but these cards are more flexible spots, more have like what your like tech choices are. And then we come down to the last ones, being our boss cards. And the boss cards we have is two copies of Android 17 and 18, 1 copy of Gohan Childhood, and 3 copies of Broly. So just like with Broly, we got the same kind of ratios for the boss cards, because once again, Android 17 and 18 is a double striker, and being a 46 cost means a little bit high, like more costly than the other colors double strikers, but 40k means it's guaranteed to make your opponent use a super combo plus an card to combo out, rather than just out combo it like the other colors. They can be out comboed by one super combo. This one requires 2 cards, so it's a lot better in that aspect, and helps mitigate your manage your opponent's board by popping in up to 2 cards that are 3 cost or less when it's played to kind of manage that. So it's really nice. Bring out a big boss double striker that also helps to like control the board. It's really handy. And considering that all these are 0 cost combo, we don't have a full 4 copies of them, and we have 1 of each of them at least because they have uses in certain matchups. Like the Android 1718 is useful generally because it's just 40k double striker, helps manage board. But the Gohan Secret Rare we only play 1 copy of because it can board wipe. It's guaranteed to board wipe yellow and red. It can board wipe everything bar 1 card in blue. And against green, the mirror to be in what you're probably most likely going to play, because green is likely to be the best color in the format in the first start at the beginning of the game. You're not going to get much use out of this as you would against the other colors. So we only play 1 copy because we're expecting green to be the best. So you don't want to have cards in our deck that don't do as great against green, but we want them to still have some copies to help deal with the other colors if you face them. So we only got 1 copy of Gohan because it's a 7 cost for 50k, which is huge power and a high costing, which is not too bad in a rank color. You still, when you play it, you can discard a card to wipe your opponent's board of 5 or less, but then you can't attack with it. But if you need it as a swing, you can still play it, not discard a card, which is not paying the cost for the auto, and still be attacked because you're not paying the cost for the auto, and you don't get the auto, so you can swing. So if you use the effect, you need to discard a card, and then you kill everything that's 5 or less on your opponent's board, but you can't attack with it that turn. But if you play it and don't discard, you don't get the effect, but you can attack. So you remember that. Then we got 3 copies of Broly, being the best kind of removal in the game, but at high cost, and a good way to finish. Because when you play it, you draw a card and pop anything on your opponent's board, any battle card on your opponent's board. And then when attacking, once per turn, you get to switch it to active mode, so it's like a dual attacker, which we don't have in this game. Like, we don't have dual attackers in this game, but you do have cards that have effects where they restand after attacking to essentially be dual attack without having So Bandai trying to put less keywords and stuff on cards, which is really nice to kind of limit the amount of text, so they're not like books like we currently have in Masters. And being at 45k means it's guaranteeing your opponent has to combo out, no matter what the leader is, at least a super combo plus more to get out of it. And it's hard to remove as well, because 45k is very hard to run over, and there's very little removal to get rid of it. Like, it's going to be hard to remove out. Like, green in the mirror, the same, a Broly on your opponent's side doing it. Red can neg it by power, but it costs a lot of cards to kind of neg it enough. And then yellow can keep it locked down if it's in rest. And then blue can't do anything against it. You can put it back in your hand with the Goku. but you can play it again after. So we have 3 copies of this because it's the best boss monster to have, considering it's going to be a green meta, and it's just a straight up great boss card. And that brings us to the last extra card, being our battle trick, being Gigantic Meteor. And this is the same as all the starter deck battle tricks, where when you use it for 1 energy, activate battle, you choose one of your leader or out the battle cards and get 15k power to battle. So the same as everything else, but its beneficial effect is once you get 6 or more energy, since it's 118, you get a beneficial effect of getting an extra 10k more for the battle. So if you're at 5 or fewer life, it's 15k for 1 energy. But if you're at, well, no, not 5 or fewer life, 5 or fewer energy, you get 15k for 1 energy. But if you are 6 or more energy, it's at 25k for 1 energy, which is a huge swing offensively or defensively, and that's like a super combo plus. And you can use it offensively and defensively, not just either or like some cards do. So we've got 4 copies of that because at the very least it's chargeable, and it's just a great way to kind of put a lot of pressure later game when you're trying to push through. Like I've ended games where I've had the Android 18 on board from the turn before that I haven't been able to get rid of, and I've just gone swing to lead, put 2 of these on, that's 90k with 2 cards and that's a lot to get out of. That's at least the easiest way to get out of that is use all 4 of your super combos to get out of it, which is then all 4, which is crazy. But that is it. That is Gohan. That is the base list for Gohan, and you'll notice that is essentially the same as the Broly list, apart from the change in the Trunks card being Trunks Future, and that's made for Gohan rather than Trunks Future. Because they're basically the same thing. They're basically the same leader, just the green Saiyan ramp decks. Same strategy, just one covers like there's one like they cover the ever leaders like kind of negatives. Like Gold has better like synergy and consistency, whereas Broly has a good like defense against the decks that Gold struggles with. So it comes down to more out of those two which character you prefer, but they're both going to be some of the top decks in the meta. But I feel like Gohan has the edge because of the consistency of drawing on both sides. So that is it from me for today. So thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and check out next time when we go over the green Android deck to finish out green. Bye for now.